So you want to know a secret about this picture? College basketball loves it. They love court storming. If they didn't, it wouldn't happen, but it keeps happening. Hopefully we're not ruining the magic, but that big spacious garage it looks like the crew is broadcasting from is actually a big spacious green screen, much like this one. Now up close, it's not much to look at, but on TV, they can do just about anything. There's actually plenty at stake, not for guys like Bryce, but for guys on the bubble. These guys are trying to make the roster, and tonight is it. The question here is, should the Hornets trade LaMelo Ball? They're going to say no. Joey, he's going to say yes. I'm going to be the judge. That's why I have the hammer here. They just had the dryers on the track. I'm not hearing any noise. I'm hearing music. So that's a good sign, as there are still a lot of fans here. You're a guy that has done everything in this sport. Why does a third place finish bring tears to your eyes?
I never dreamed of being a car owner.
The business he's talking about is esports, a business where, yes, actual physical trades exist. Give me a second. St. John is currently a star player for the Hornets Venom GT, operating under the gamer tag Big Saint. There was a time when chaos was the norm for defenses all across the NFL.
Everybody, all 11, looking the sideline and getting the calls.
Communication breakdowns were the norm, and offenses ran wild.
Pass wide open.
That is, until the league decided to level the playing field.
When we got the green dot in 2008, it just made so many of those things simpler, because not only can you communicate a defensive call, but I can give the green dot the heads up.
The green dot that Panthers defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero is talking about is the logo found on the helmet of one of his players. Typically, it's the middle linebacker that wears it.
They're in the middle of the defense.
And that's why they've got the radio in their helmet, allowing crucial information to be streamlined from the sideline.
Starts off with the calls, obviously, and I mean, that could be the front, the coverage, any alerts, checks we have, and then he might say, like, hey, tell so-and-so this and tell so-and-so that. He's usually pretty good about not having too many things.
Inside the headset,
the player hears this. The sound is pretty clear, but when you have tens of thousands of screaming fans, it can get a little challenging.
Sometimes it is hard to hear, so you see the guys cover up their ears or whatever to hear it.
Communication is a one-way street, meaning coaches can talk to the player, but not the other way around.
I don't want to hear what they have to say.
That's because there's quite a bit of hurry-up involved. Instructions start once the play clock begins. Once it reaches 15 seconds,
it just goes up beep, 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 and then it's off.
From there, it's the responsibility of the person with the green dot to pass along the information to the other players on the field.
If you don't get the call to the guys, the offense ain't waiting for you to get the call.
As you can imagine, it can get pretty stressful.
Quick pass, they get that and then some.
Then again,
for a couple of years there, when the offense had and the defense didn't, there was a big, in my opinion, competitive advantage for them.
It is better than the alternative.
Mike Lacett, Black and Blue kickoff live.
If you were watching the Panthers and Bucks play their games side by side this afternoon, man, were you on a roller coaster. Both games kicked off around 1. Both had to frustrate Panther fans to no end. We'll start with Tampa. They were at one point good this year. Now they're not. Back in the second quarter, they were having all sorts of problems with Miami, who was leading 17-7 at the break. While that was happening, Carolina was holding its own against the best team in the NFC. The Panthers and Seahawks were actually tied at 3 going into the second half. Remember, a win would have clinched the division for Carolina over Tampa, but that never happened. In the third quarter, Carolina suffered a major meltdown. Right after they picked off Sam Darnold, Chuba Hubbard fumbled the ball. It would lead to a touchdown. Seahawks led 10-3. Next drive for the Panthers, they looked to respond, but look what happened. Bryce Young throwing, he's going to get picked off. Julian Love with the interception. Seattle getting it back in Carolina territory, and they would cash in moments later. Darnold, 1 touchdown pass on the day. It happened on this 17-yard strike to A.J. Barner. 14 straight from the Seahawks. They were up 17-3 going into the fourth. Panthers would go on to lose this one 27-10. And if that weren't bad enough, the Bucs lost to the Dolphins 20-17. So a lost opportunity for the Panthers, and now it all comes down to next week. Win that game, the division is Carolina's. After an up-and-down season, maybe it's only fitting it ends that way. For more on what happened, though, today at the bank, we send it back out to Gabe and Gia.
That's just great football, and so I'm really proud of him for, just playing with the kind of effort that we were expecting from him.
Man, it sounds like Panthers rookie Nick Scorton made a real good impression in his first ever preseason game. In the loss to the Browns, he finished with 2 tackles. However, it was the play in which he didn't get the hit that had everyone talking. We're going to pull it up right here. It was in the second quarter with the Browns driving. Their rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, tried to make his move. There you see number 11, Scorton, cuts him off. Sanders going to come back the other way. He thinks he's seen the last of Scorton. Football field, 160 feet wide. In 6 seconds, Scorton turned on a dime, came back the other way, and was able to force him out. The last time the Hornets were this hot, we were seriously worried about a thing called Y2K. They won 9 in a row in '99, and 27 years later, they've finally done it again. It's just like old times in Charlotte. The thrill is back, and so is CSL. He's Joey Ellis. I'm Mike Lacett. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy Super Bowl Sunday.
Hornets looking for a 9th straight win tonight. They took on the Hawks in Atlanta. Charlotte got off to a slow start, but by the second quarter, they were in full gear. LaMelo Ball, hoop and foul. He had 19 games, was tied at the break. Third quarter, Hornets taking their play up a notch. Check out Miles Bridges. We're going to zoom in on him because we want you to see him beat everybody down the court. Melo saw it from a mile away. The result, an alley-oop jam. Charlotte up 4, Bridges with a team-high 26. End of the quarter now. Charlotte finishing very, very strong. Trey Mann getting some playing time at last. He made the most of it. Tough 3. Charlotte up 8 going into the final period. Fourth quarter, Hawks got close, but Con Knippel says that is close enough. Off some great ball movement, he knocks down the 3 ball. Con had 23. Hornets made their free throws down the stretch. They hold on to win it 126-119. 9 straight wins. First time that's happened since April of 1999. Charlotte just 1 victory away from tying a franchise record for most wins in a row. It's not as if he has a secret identity, but it does feel like Michael Malloy is living 2 distinct lives.
I'm gonna tell you the story, and it's like, even I don't really believe it. Like, I feel like I'm living somebody else's life.
That's putting it mildly. Back home in Minnesota, he's a self-proclaimed tech nerd. However, once he enters Charlotte city limits, this 51-year-old becomes bigger than Elvis.
And there was a couple with Panthers jerseys on sitting kitty corner, and they were like, sorry, I don't want to burst your bubble, but are you the guy?
Have you ever had $150,000 in your hand?
It was him, all right. The seemingly overnight Queen City phenomenon known as Carolina Mike.
Here's exactly what I would do.
It's sitting at 3 million views right now.
His hit song, If I Had $150,000, was actually first released in 2023. And it was not about football.
What? I don't even really wear a watch.
To very little fanfare, to zero fanfare.
But there was something about the beat that kept this karaoke wizard coming back for more. And so one night last summer, he decided to create a new music video and post it to TikTok. The fact he didn't change clothes was completely by accident.
If you had $150,000.
I was dressed in the fit, right? And I was actually going it wasn't like I put that on as like a put on. Like, that was what I was wearing.
The outfit, as well as his dance, created the perfect storm.
Since I'm throwing up the fake money, let me actually make it like Monopoly money or something.
But yet, to his surprise, his followers still wanted more.
People were asking questions like, where's the rest of the song? Because it was just the one verse.
So on a whim, Malloy, a Camden, South Carolina native, went back to his roots.
Might get me some Panthers season ticks. Just might get a tiny home in the sticks.
And that is when things really got crazy.
Heck nah, I ain't sharing, I'ma eat them all up.
First off, shout out to Roaring Riot. Okay, Roaring Riot is the fan org that flew me out.
Malloy arrived to Charlotte that game day earlier this November like a tour de force.
November 9th was like a huge day for me.
There were interviews and live concerts, including one at the bank in front of a packed stadium.
And then when I came down, people had money. The money that I had thrown, they had money, and they were asking me to autograph. I was like, I am a regular dude.
Maybe back in Minnesota he is, but here in the Carolinas,
it was awesome, actually.
Carolina Mike is a living legend.